Paris is always a good idea. This common saying is so profoundly true. The romantic trees, majestic buildings, and of course, the iconic Eiffel Tower are among the reasons why millions of tourists flock to Paris every year. But there is so much more. The French cuisine, the relaxed lifestyle, the River Seine, the museums, and we could go on and on for a very long time. One trip will not be enough to discover every corner of such a huge city. Still, with our 48-hour itinerary, we will try to draft an easy path for getting the most out of your weekend getaway. Welcome back to Town Travel Tips. In today's video, we will tour Paris for 48 hours, highlighting the best itinerary possible for a short stay, and yet getting the most out of this lovely city. Remember to subscribe to the channel, and like the video if you haven't already. Every like is important to us, and a great sign of appreciation for all the work put into every video. If you have already subscribed, this big hug to you. Without further ado, let's dive into our Parisian excursion. The airports connect Paris exceptionally well, so it won't be a problem to reach the city center. Regarding accommodations, the best areas to stay are the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 6th, and 7th arrondissements. The city map resembles a spiral, and these are the neighborhoods closer to the center, where most of the sightseeing spots are. On the first day, we will visit the major tourist attractions and world-class museums Paris is home to. Day 2 will be relaxed and slower, because Paris is a city that has to be lived to grasp its true essence. Day 1. Start your day early with an authentic croissant. Made with butter rather than olive oil like in Italy, croissants are delicious pastries, oven-baked, and then filled with cream, jam, or chocolate. It will be the perfect kickoff for a day rather eventful. The first stop of the day is the Louvre Museum. The Louvre is the world's biggest museum, housing hundreds of thousands of works of art, including sculptures by Michelangelo, Bernini, and Canova, as well as works by Da Vinci and Delacroix. Pre-book tickets way in advance, because affluence is very high all year round. Someone might argue that 3 to 4 hours in the Louvre won't be enough to see it all. And they are correct. With a budget on time, though, an excellent guide can show you everything you ask for and still leave you some time to wander between one masterpiece and another. Suppose you have to choose between centuries of art. The unmissable is the famous Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci, The Coronation of Napoleon by Jacques-Louis David, and Psyche Revived by Cupid's Kiss by Canova. There is much more. Still, this is already quite something, and this short visit will take you at least 4 hours. The Tuileries Garden is a short walk from the Louvre. The garden's vivid colors and traditional French architecture are free to see, and relatively uncrowded. After the Louvre, get some rest in this magnificent park, and have a quick lunch with a baguette, the traditional French long bread. If you are in the mood for something sweet and fancier, head to La Durée and try out their world-famous macarons. A macaron is a meringue-based biscuit created with egg white, icing, sugar, granulated sugar, and almond flour. It comes in many flavors and decorations. After this restoring break, the next stop is Place de la Concorde, an octagonal square notable for housing a pink granite obelisk from Luxor, decorated with hieroglyphs in its center. The city's most prominent public square, and one of the biggest in Europe, has a long history. It housed the guillotine, which was used to execute Louis XVI, Marie Antoinette, Robespierre, and many others during the French Revolution. From there, you can start to walk to the Champs-Élysées and reach the Arc de Triomphe, another iconic sightseeing spot in the French capital. Mind that the traffic around the Arc will likely ruin all of your pictures. But Paris is also this. During the walk, the shape of the Eiffel Tower surely won't go unnoticed on your left. After the Arc, That's where we're headed now. With your pre-booked tickets, take a quick elevator ride to the top of one of the most famous landmarks in the world. Admire the sunset from the highest spot in Paris and celebrate your first Parisian day like a local. How? With a glass of champagne, of course. Get some rest and be prepared for another exciting day tomorrow. Day 2. As we said, while the first 24 hours were dedicated to sightseeing, Day 2 will be all about the Parisian vibes. Another buttery croissant is the sign a new day has begun. The first stop on the second and last day of your itinerary is Montmartre. Montmartre is an old neighborhood of Paris, located on a small hill in the northern area of the city, home to the Sacré-Cœur church. This most renowned Parisian district has retained a few of the rural ambiance that drew painters of the 19th and 20th centuries. Still, today provides as much pleasure to people who wander in the tiny alleys or watch the city from above. Avoid the tourist traps, all of the restaurants with servers that are inviting you in, or photos of the food outside the establishments, and have a quick lunch in a traditional French cafe. After lunch, head back to the city center and walk in the heart of Paris, passing by the Opera Theater. Opera Garnier is a major cultural landmark, and its decorations, fit for a king's palace, will wow you. This visit will please anyone who enjoys history, art, or literature. The ticket is relatively cheap, which is always appreciated. If you don't feel like adding more culture to the trip, then the Sequoia rooftop bar will serve you well for a drink. From the 13th floor, you will have a fantastic view of the opera and the whole city, Eiffel Tower included. After the opera, take a quick tour of the nearby Galeries Lafayette, a Parisian department store famed for its luxury clothes, gourmet cuisine, Art Nouveau architecture, and in-store events. It has long been a famous tourist destination in Paris, with hundreds of locals and foreigners passing through daily. We needed to take time for the last spot to visit in our 48 hours in Paris. We are now ready to head to the pier, from where the famous Bateau Mouche departs. A Bateau Mouche is a traditional 1 or 2 hour cruise on the Seine. The schedule is usually very dense, with a new cruise every 30 minutes, and it is a cheap and beautiful way to see Paris from another perspective. You will pass beyond the medieval bridges, the Eiffel Tower, and close to the Louvre, Orsay museums, and Notre-Dame Cathedral. The sunset will make Paris sparkle with thousands of lights, and the romantic view from the ferry will be one of those that will remain with you forever. Have you been to Paris? Are you planning a trip to France? Let us know in the comments section. We love hearing from you. If you fell in love with this city, check out our video on the best 5 foods to try in Paris using the link below. Did you find this video helpful? Hit that like button if you did. Subscribe for more videos, and click that bell icon so you don't miss out on our future videos. Thank you for watching. Take care. Ciao.